Hello everyone, welcome to Chapter 9, Lesson 9. We're going to estimate sums and differences. It says, Lucita and Alexis went scuba diving for 7 1/3 hours. The next day, they went scuba diving for 4 2/3 hours. About how many hours did they spend scuba diving altogether? So, first thing is, altogether, that means we're going to add. So we have 7 1/3 plus 4 2/3. So these are mixed numbers, and we're gonna estimate them or round them to the nearest whole number. So if I make a number line to the side, I'm gonna do 7 1/3. So that means normally we've been doing 0 to 1, but now that we have a 7 in front of the 1/3, our numbers are gonna be in between 7 and 8. Since we have 1/3 as a denominator of 1, 2, so 3 equal parts. So my 1/3 is going to be up to here. So that's 1/3 of. So is 1/3 closer to 7 or is it closer to 8? So 7 1/3 is closer to 7. The next we have 4 2/3. So now we have 4 2/3. So I'm going to set up my number line the same exact way because we're splitting them up into 3 equal parts. So now 4 is going to be between 4 and 5. So 2/3 here, 2/3 is closer to 5. So I'm going to switch my problem for mixed numbers. This is going to be about 7 plus 5. This is going to be about 12. So Lucita and Alexis spend about 12 hours scuba diving altogether. This is one sea anemone is 3 1/4 feet across, while a second sea anemone is 5 3/4 feet across. About how much longer will the second anemone? About how much longer across is the second anemone? So how much longer? That means we're going to be subtracting. We're going to do the same thing. So we have, my apologies. So we have 5 3/4, and I'm going to make a number line. So since this is 5 3/4, the numbers I'll be working with is 5 and 6, and I have 4 equal parts. 3/4 will be here, and that's going to be closer to 6. Now I have 3 1/4. So make a number line. Since it's 3 1/4, is going to be between 3 and 4. And 1/4 is going to be here. And that is going to be closer to 3. And my whole numbers are numbers that have no fraction or decimal attached to them. 6 minus 3 equals 3. So my answer is about 3 feet longer. So go ahead and try the guided practice. So I'm going to tell you guys one last strategy that I have been using, but I didn't share yet. So I'm going to take a look at the number 2 1/8. 2 1/8. The number I'm going to look at is the numerator here. My numerator 1. I'm also going to look at my denominator. So my denominator, if I take my denominator and divide it by 2, I get my denominator is going to be 4. So that's divided by 2. This is just something I remember. I look at my numerator, 1. 1 is less than 4. So I know my whole number is going to stay at 2. Okay? So I'm going to do the same thing with 3/5. So I'm sorry, 3 5/8. Same thing. If I take my denominator and divide it by 2, I look at my numerator, 5 is greater than 4. 5 is greater than this number, my half of my denominator. So I know my 3 is closer to 4. It's kind of confusing the way it's explained, but if you take your denominator and take half of it, so in this case, it's going to be 4 1/2. My numerator is less than 4 1/2. So that means this is going to stay at 5. If I take this one, 3, half of 3 is 1.5. My numerator 2 is bigger than 1.5. So my 3 is going to be raised to 4. Now, if you don't understand the strategy, then don't use it. Then go back to the number line. But that's the strategy I've been using. Is if my numerator is larger than half of my denominator, then it goes up. If my numerator is smaller than half of my denominator, then it stays the same. But that's the end of the lesson, so thank you for watching.